Today I want to talk about The Will and the Way, a supplement for Darksun. Now, this is a psionics-based supplement, so it's mostly about psionics. It's completely about psionics. And it talks a little about the races in psionics and the different city-states. There's a great picture of psychic surgery taking place. And it has a few locations where a group of psionists live. So you can map how to get to them. There's some great pictures of psionics being used. And then it gets into kits for psionists. Now, the auditor is somebody who gathers information. So this is a good kit for somebody who's into clairsentience or telepathy. Beastmaster psionists, like the title says, they control animals. Mercenary psionists, psionist who works for people. Noble psionists, some of these titles are self-explanatory. A psiologist is like a scientist who studies psionics and studies their particular discipline. A sensei is a psionicist who also has some fighting abilities, so they can do weapon specialization. Tribal psionicists. And then it goes into some weapon proficiencies for them. And then there's some non-weapon proficiencies. Just a few new ones. Psychic defense. Crystal focus allows you to use a crystal to help your power. Power manipulation. Psionic lore. Information gathering. And then it gets into a different way to do psionic combat. In case you don't like the one in the Complete Psionics Handbook. I prefer first edition myself. Here's how you can use a deck of cards to help with educating powers. Alright, so it goes a bit into some of the powers. Nice picture. Here's a good one of a Thrycreen psionicist fighting. And mostly it's a device on how to use the psionic powers, which is sort of maybe the origin of character builds. It gives you advice about which abilities to gain in what order. So it recommends, for example, you're going to be a telepath. You should take Mind Link, Contact, ESP, and Insinuation first, and then at second level, Invisibility and Psychometabolism, Ectoplasmic Form, and so forth. It's character builds. I think this is where character builds were introduced. And it talks about meditation that you would use to regain your psionic strength points. And then there are some new powers. Also, there's psionic magic items, which are kind of like the intelligent weapons from first edition. And there's a few examples of them. And then there's some new powers. Cosmic awareness. detection, spirit lore, true sight. I think this one is bone reading. No course, safe path, see ethereal, see magic, sensitivity to observation, that lets you know when you're being watched, watcher's ward, kinetic control, megakinesis is a more powerful version of telekinesis, and then there's telekinetic barrier where you use telekinesis to make a force field, telekinetic flight. That's a logical thing to do. It's cheaper to have this power than it is to use telekinesis to simulate that. Cryokinesis makes cold. Deflect allows you to block missiles. Magnetize doesn't seem like a very useful power in a world where metal is really scarce. Mass manipulation, another variant of telekinesis. Molecular bonding. Momentum theft allows you to slow something down. Static discharge. Elemental composition. Nerve manipulation. Poison simulation allows you to secrete poison. Regenerate. Accelerate makes things go faster. Alter features is kind of a shape changing. Cause sleep. Photosynthesis allows you to feed from sun. Spider touch. What does spider touch do? Makes your fingers sticky so you can wall walk. Planar transposition allows you to travel through the planes. Summon planar energies allows you to open a door to the planes and do damage. Like that. Time travel, depending on how much power you use, is you can go up to 10,000 years into the future or more if you got enough psionic strength points. Wormhole, sort of like Dimension Door. Blink, like the spell. Dimension Blade. Dimension Scream. What does Dimension Scream do? Screen, not scream. It makes a force field, basically. Duo dimension, that's like the spells. Phase, kind of like phase and phase object allows you to not be hit, basically. Pocket dimension makes like a portable hole. Shadow walk allows you to walk through shadows. Spatial distortion. Summon object. That seems pretty obvious. You can summon an object from up to 10,000 miles away. Teleport lock prevents people from teleporting. Time dilation allows you to simulate haste or slow. Time duplicate is a pretty cool power. The first round, the Psionicist initiates the power. It looks like nothing's happened. The second round, the Psionicist self from round 3 arrives. There are now 2 Psionicists, and one of them has advantages because he knows what's going to happen. The third round, there's no Psionicist, and the fourth round, the Psionicist from round 3 returns. I think there was something like this in the Dragon. There was a class called the Time Lord. I think they could do this too. Telepathic ones, there's like hallucination, which is like illusions. Mass contact seems like a useful thing, especially for a Sorcerer King to do. Mind Flame. Amnesia. Mind Flame allows you to hurt people with your mind. Passive contact is a cheaper version of maintaining contact. Plant mind allows you to tune your mind to plants. Sensory suppression. You can blind people. Suppress fear. You can get rid of their fear. Subjective reality is another illusion power. Suppress magic. Makes it harder for magi to do magic around you. A cognitive trance. It allows you to clear your mind. Fighting trance makes you better at fighting. Iron will allows you to focus on something. Probability manipulation improves your chances of doing something. Psionic vampirism, you can suck the life out of people to fuel your psionics. And psychic blade, so you can do damage. And there's a index of the Complete Psionics Handbook and Dragon Kings, telling what page various powers are on. So that's it. The Will and the Way, a supplement of psionics for Darksun.